Here we go. Hello, Vaibhav.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, yes.
Thank you so much for doing this. Welcome to the Futuristic Parenting Decoded podcast with Codevidhya.
Thank you very much, Sandesh.
I know you're a very, very busy person. So, first of all, I'd like to thank you for accepting to do this. And this is something very interesting for us also because you have such a wonderful podcast. So, I'll not waste any time. I'll hit it right now. So, I've seen your profile and what you sent to me and what your LinkedIn holds. You have a scintillating career, and from being a journalist to a digital media expert and a content curator now, and now you're a storyteller via podcasts. So, please tell us a bit about your journey and how did you end up doing this podcast?
So it's all interrelated, I'll say.
Okay.
Content has been part of my growing up days. I mean, I've always had a thirst for content. I
Mm-hmm.
always loved to gather content, be it from a wrapper of a soap, which I used to collect. I
Okay.
had a key eye to detail for advertising. I used to love advertisements more than the content in in a show, because I could see in 30 seconds a story is said and they have gone. And whereas that show, which is on the TV, they're on and on and on, and they're not able to communicate what they want to do.
Yeah.
So content has been part of my life since the very beginning. I
Hmm.
used to go onto stage and I used to share stories, poems in school. I was part of the drama society in school, and in college I was part of declamation and debate society. So I have always had I always had a love relationship with content.
Hmm.
And I did English honors as my education. Literature, again, a lot of content I had eaten up during my graduation days.
Uh-huh.
After English honors, I did journalism
Okay.
course because I wanted to know where am I going after taking this English degree.
Hmm.
After doing that journalism course, I did another master's in marketing, because I could foresee that content has to be sold sometime. You need
Hmm.
to market the content, and that was the
Correct.
objective behind doing that marketing course.
Hmm.
So that's how content has always been part of my growing up time. And then I started doing journalism with BBC News. Again, a lot of content. Then moved to Radio Mirchi,
Mm-hmm.
creating ideas for brands. Again, writing around content so that I can sell content to brands, because now all brand wants a story, because brands have done so much with their tech.
Yeah.
There's nothing else left with them. they
Uh-huh.
they always tend to find a story. How can we sell it? So I am the one who can fabricate stories for you if you can make tech. So yeah, that's my journey with content professionally. And then personally, I took it with Babiti, a pregnant papa podcast. That is my podcast where I wanted to document my journey of being a pregnant father, and also of becoming a dad. And
Mhm.
I felt that is the best way to give a tribute to what I've learned over the years, which is
Mhm.
content. So I think my podcast is a tribute to what I've learned.
Nice. How many children do you have?
I only have one, and one is enough right now. 20 months. He's 20 months only, and I think I'm way ahead in thinking of coding for a child of 20 months right now. I think that is not written on my LinkedIn. That's why I think you must be wondering, अरे ये तो टीजी ही नहीं है यार.
No, actually, I wanted to. I got to know about your podcast, and I felt it was very new. It was very refreshing, and I'm not a father yet, so I found, like, if I am there in your position, what
Yeah.
I've been thinking. So, what inspired you to start this? I mean, you yourself are a very busy person creating content for professionally. What inspired you to start this Pregnant Papa podcast?
So what inspired is in the latest episode of Pregnant Papa podcast, season 2,
Okay.
episode 5, which is called Baby Pics. Because
Okay.
the idea came in when I was sitting in the hospital in the night, and I was
Hmm.
looking at other fathers around me who
Hmm.
were very anxious, who were very sad because the baby was in the hospital NICU, in the
Hmm.
ICU. And then I felt, what is happening to us, because Baap Biti is a word play on the word Aap
Mhm.
Biti. Aap Biti means whatever I am going through. I have just put a word B in front of that Aap Biti.
Mhm.
And so I was just thinking what these guys are going through and what I am going through. So if I have to share my Aap Biti, what I am going through, I will call it as Baap Biti.
Mhm.
So that idea itself was a big germ for me to create a podcast. And
Mhm.
also, the journey is very important for every father to hear, because you, as a male, you don't know what is happening with your counterpart, with your
Correct.
wife. Okay, this journey will give a bit of perspective to you. This journey
Mhm.
will actually make you aware of things, will
Mhm.
actually make you prepare for things. Okay,
Mhm.
because most of the things, they just come and hit you. 9 mahine
Yeah.
you're living with a lady whose bump is only going only growing, and you all of a sudden in one night you become a father.
Yeah.
He's been mother from past 9 months dealing with the
Yeah.
baby inside, but you
Yeah.
have become father in one day. Instantly you
Yeah.
see a baby in front of you. So it means the pressure is on you. She was
Yeah.
preparing all those 9 months. You are not
Yeah.
prepared. You're still
Yeah.
not prepared. I'm still not prepared as a dad. I don't know how I will take care of my son. So that's what I'm saying. That that's what the germ of the idea, that
Mhm.
fathers become instantly. We are at 2 minute Maggie noodle
Correct.
fathers. A lady
Correct.
is so.
That's so interesting because when I was listening to your podcast and everything, I could understand that you were trying to document, and through documentation, we started to learn so many things. So, whom are you targeting? Like, what's your target with this podcast? Like, are you trying to make probably people like me who are not yet fathers, teach them about about this journey?
So this podcast is for everyone, to be very honest,
Hmm.
because life, birth and death,
Hmm.
and growing up is part of everybody's journey. And
Correct.
um, it's something which everybody should listen to. Why? Because there is a story. it's
Right.
it's it's a real life story which has been narrated in a fun way. There
Hmm.
are
Yeah.
ups and downs in that. There is some gyan from the experts, and there is something which you will take back home, things which you don't know yet about. So
Yeah.
people tend to explore content in the quest to know more. And
Correct.
as a male or human being, you don't know what's happening during the pregnancy time. It's something, it's a it's a mm, it's a door you only open once you are in that journey. But if you're
Correct.
not in journey and you want to explore and you want
Hmm.
to understand, you want to hear that, then welcome, listen to it. You will know more about it. It's
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's
inquisitivity,
a.
you just get inquisitive. अरे बाप कैसे बनते हैं यार, प्रेगनेंसी के दौरान क्या क्या होता है. So if you are that inquisitive,
Absolutely.
so come over.
That's amazing. I want to talk about what we at Codevidhya do, because I know you're not into coding, but you've been working with tech all your life, I can say. I mean, like you said, tech is there, content has to come. So, you've always been surrounded by tech because you're putting the content on technological startups or apps or anything. And we at Codevidhya, we're teaching children to start to learn to code from the age of 6 to 16.
Correct.
Now, what is your take on children learning to code? As a person who's been around engineers, at least, if not one, you've been around. So, what is your take on that?
See, from my perspective, I don't understand coding at all. And I
Yeah,
say it is the most boring thing, because सामने क्या होगा, यूजर क्या देखेगा मुझे पता नहीं. यू आर जस्ट वर्किंग ऑन कोड्स, यू आर जस्ट back end, and you are developing something which will be a user experience who doesn't know what you have done in the back end.
that's
So for
correct.
me, I have zero knowledge of coding.
Mm.
I am a visualizer. I can
Mm.
tell a coder or somebody who is developing कि मुझे ये चीज चाहिए, this is where I want to go, but how it is done, it's your
Mm.
job, bro. I
Mm.
can only give you a vision. And
Mm.
that is a flip side of a coder or a developer. They don't have a
Mm.
vision. They
Mm.
need something कि आप मुझे बता दो, I'll do that. I'll get you
Hmm.
there. They grow,
Yeah.
they grow as in the way they make things, they grow over the time. They get that vision later, you know, अरे वाह ये मैंने किया था. Their experience, you know, then it comes to them कि हाँ ये कर सकते हैं. And also they are too geeky, I would say, that they are always in the coding, that their spectrum is very limited. This is what my understanding is, and hence they need people who are out there seeing things, coming back to them, giving them feed. So I have a very little knowledge of how coding is, and whether it is meant for my child or not.
Hmm.
I am
Hmm.
not at all in that position of taking a decision for him.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I don't know if 6 is the right age to start coding. For
Hmm.
that, I want to understand more from you guys at
Yeah.
Vidya. If 6 is the right age, and also अगर सभी कोडर्स बन जाएंगे इंडिया में 6 साल की उम्र से, तो बाकी काम कौन करेगा यार? कोडर को भी तो
No, I
तैयार
mean,
करने के लिए कोई
to be
बड़ी
very
जरूरत है.
honest, in terms of coding, it's a worldwide thing, and children have started to code from the age of 5. And coding, in the sense, don't take the journey of. There are people who want coding as to be a traditional education system, like any
Yeah,
other subject, so that
yeah,
tomorrow morning you are building a website. Now, if I have a website and if I have to do a simple integration of a checkout page on my website, I don't have to look for a coder. I can do it
mm,
myself. Just like
yeah,
how you would do math, just like how you would do a simple calculation. That's how it is, and that is why more and more education systems are taking this into their stride and making coding mandatory, just like Indian government, because they want to make sure that coding becomes a part of every student's life,
yeah.
because computers was not there for a long time. Then we started getting computers in our school days, and then we started understanding, okay, this is what Word does, this is what Excel does. And that's
Correct,
the same way I think if coding comes into picture, because like you said, there is a visualizer and there is a coder. But if the coder becomes the visualizer, if you start coding right from early, so that your creativity also kicks in by the time you can create what it is, because we can sit down here and say, okay, this is what needs to be done, but when it has to be done, we have to ask for help. So
correct.
that is the whole thing. So I would just, would you see that being a thing, like,
Yes.
even if your kid at the end of the day wants to create something, he has the idea from his father's side, and then he has his skill, so he can totally do it.
Yeah, I mean, I see that it is a very, it is something which is the need of an hour for
Hmm.
tomorrow. Okay.
Yes.
Which I think is a life skill. Coding, I will say, is a life skill. Reason being that pandemic has taught us that you can work from anywhere else, anywhere you want to. And if we are developing our children towards coding and giving that kind of knowledge to education to them,
Hmm.
and if that interest clicks, they can probably bring it in their life.
Exactly.
uh, and like you said, so at age of 6, what I was studying, I was studying Hindi, maths, English, a
Hmm.
bit of science,
Hmm.
and what else, social science, I think,
Socials,
or, or,
socials,
or,
yeah.
or environmental studies.
Yeah.
So apart from English and Hindi, I don't think anything has been of any help to me. And English and Hindi, they both are languages, and coding is also a language.
Yeah.
So if I think from that perspective,
Hmm.
a know-how is good.
Hmm.
If you are going to apply it after 18 or after 12, that is secondary.
Hmm.
So I think getting to know about this is good. But how
Quite
your career
interesting.
shapes up, maybe he doesn't like to sit on desk. Maybe he doesn't. He likes to play. If he likes to play, if he becomes a very good uh, doer as a sportsman, good. If he doesn't, maybe he becomes an analyst, and then you again need coding. Maybe
Yeah.
later
Yeah.
you will be maybe asked to make dashboards. You will maybe you will be asked to track performances through
Absolutely.
numbers. So yeah, I mean, coding can be of help in times to come.
Yeah, that's what basically we are code with. What we're planning to do is we are making sure that the parents also understand what how it is, and because it's the millennial parents right now who are
Yeah.
going to be enrolling their kids, and just like you said, it's a language, so it might be important at the end of the day. I mean, we've seen so many things change from day to day. It might be important to know that. But apart from that, you spoke about career paths, right? Like you spoke about cricket or anything as such. Do you feel parenting? I mean, should parents start being open about career paths like this? Like, because we've grown up in a time where we had only two or three options from their end.
Hmm.
Now we have so many options, but still, I see few parents who are not so open. Do you think parents should really start being open up?
I
Because
think,
you yourself are from a very different career.
yeah, I think parents should now diversify their own thought process, that what are the options available. They should go out and hunt for newer options, because as the market has, as now we are growing from engineer and medical kind of a mindset, now there are more avenues coming up. I think as a new parent, I am hunting for new opportunities. यहाँ पर कुछ नहीं हो रहा, इधर मैं अपने बेटे को डालूंगा, या यहाँ कुछ हो रहा है और ये बूमिंग है, मैं यहाँ डालूंगा. I think parents have to become smarter than to still choose the old path. And also, you should have in your head what you want your son or daughter to be. Okay, don't call it out. Okay, have your thoughts, because a lot of people say that I don't want to pressurize my child. Whatever he want to do, I will do it. I will always support. That is all good. That is all will be done. But the thing is that you, as a parent, should have some ambitions for your child. I think for a father, it's
Hmm.
very important to make your child ambitious. And from a mother's side, it is very important to keep loving your child.
Correct.
Ambition and love, they both have to go together to
Correct.
build that small entity into something big. So I personally, I have thought what I want my son to be. Already,
Oh.
I know what I want him to be. Whether he goes that way or not, I don't know. But if he doesn't, and if he picks his own path, I will support in a way that I am always thinking ahead of him, as in a kind of support he may need after 2 years. I will be thinking
That's
of that
correct.
right now.
That's correct. That's correct.
So that's my job as a father. That ambition, I have to keep. I have to make him ambitious. And from
That's a yeah, and yeah, and your love from your from the mother's end,
mother's
yeah,
side, yeah,
yeah, mother's side. So
because
I think these,
both parents cannot be cannot be strict. And with ambition, a lot of strict discipline, that all comes in. Mother
yeah,
has to love.
that is so true. I mean, I love it how we're talking about parenting, and you have this thing structured out. Do you feel parenting has seen a drastic change, like from our parents to
Yeah,
now us?
needs have been different. We are secured, we have good packages, we have our parents house, we have, see, our parents were very insecure in their life. We are also very insecure. They were so insecure that they wanted to have two, three, four houses in metropolitan, one in hometown, one in Bangalore, one in some small land. They were always hunting after wealth accumulation. Now it has become so difficult for us to deal with their wealth. Okay, what will we do with their wealth when we want to live in Bangalore? What will I do of house in which is in my native? Nothing. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm stuck
yeah,
now. So the thing is,
yeah,
it's circle of life. Our
yeah.
parents did everything to give us that comfortable life, thinking abhi zarurat padegi, so we will have something. We are trying to do that again, ahead. But the thing is that it is important, the way our country is becoming, it is important to choose a minimalistic approach. It is
Yes,
right time
yes.
to show your children sustainability. It is about time to show your children alternatives. It is about time to show your children that money is there, we have all the money, but wasting is easy, being thrifty is difficult. So, and there are options in the market. So apply your brains to look for an efficient, available option. Do not spoil your child for the choices we have. We have a lot of choices. We can give away money. If a Adidas shoe is for 4,000 bucks, and you know that you need a shoe for running, And Reebok is also selling a running shoe in $3,000. And then you see, okay, there is a equivalent new startup brand who has come up with a very good running shoe in 2000 rupees. Just be mindful.
Hmm.
This is what our parents were never able to do. They
Hmm.
were thinking that my son wants something, I have to go out, run, get money, and get him that.
Hmm.
But now this parenting has to change. We have to tell our children we are a big country. We have a lot of options. You just have to be mindful
Yeah, that's true.
and having a bit of minimalistic approach in your house. Otherwise, you will end up cleaning your wardrobes for years and years.
Which is already happening,
Yeah,
and we call it decluttering.
correct.
I mean, last year we've had a very difficult situation, right?
Hmm.
With you, with everyone basically, and we've seen that drastically change for children. And I mean, you would have seen, at least if not for your children, you would have seen somebody else's children's life changing because socializing was stopped, making friends had stopped, going out had stopped, and it was all just very difficult for the parents also to deal with it. And there are few, even right here in India, we have lockdown still prevalent. So,
Yeah.
what do you think parents should do to maintain that balance so that they have enough of those activities still?
It is very tough question because I have not seen that demand rising from my son's side yet. But I know it is very difficult because it's difficult for me. I cannot stay at home. I really like to go out. I really like to explore. I really like to go on treks. I really like to go volunteer somewhere. I really like to do all of this. But I think for children, for sure, sitting hours on laptop like we do is not an option. I think this is what they're learning from us.
Yeah, yeah.
क्लास जूम पे है या क्लास ऑनलाइन है. I think it is very also important to introduce them to other life skills. For example, gardening. For example, things which will engage them. Maybe cook a meal a week, cook one meal. Something which will um, give them life skill. So I think that is what parents should engage the kids in. Um, I think there are a lot of things you can ask your children to help you in
Yeah.
for all the home chores. I think you should do that because
Hmm.
this is a time when you can teach them. Because if they'll be in school, they will not be learning how to wash their own clothes. Maybe tell them that. Maybe tell them how to run a washing machine. It
Yeah.
is a time to upgrade your life skills
Yeah.
because school and going out will never give you that opportunity.
Absolutely true. So true. So you mean to say that, while of course now we can't help it that they're glued in front of the screen because that's how they're learning right now.
Yeah,
So you mean to say that having something like a small little chore on the side could
correct.
make them become a little bit more self-dependent as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. And that chance parents will never get when they will send a child to school
Yeah.
because then you will be working as a slave to your child. But right now is a time to make a child your
Yeah.
co-slave.
I like that. I like that. Now, I want to know because you're a digital marketing specialist and you've done so much, you've worked with a lot of big companies and all these. Now it's the era of e learning, correct? Where do you see this e learning going in the future? I'm not just talking about children, I'm talking about e learning as a whole. So, where
Yeah.
do you see this particular space of e learning being in the future?
I've just applied for a job on a e-learn for an e-learning company right now.
Oh,
LinkedIn. Just now, just on LinkedIn for me is like DMing HRs just to find
right.
out चल क्या रहा है भाई. So yeah, okay. About e-learning, I think it is here to stay.
Hmm.
And also this will make a world a smaller place
Hmm.
because you can probably sit here and apply for an e-learning course in Netherlands, and some students can apply for a course in India, and then it will also become a
Hmm.
great marketplace. जहाँ पर सस्ता मिला
Hmm.
कोर्स वहां से कर लो. This is how things will become
Yeah.
in time in days to come. Then e-learning companies will be looking for a differentiating factors, like it's e-learning
Hmm.
plus placements, it's e-learning plus something. That time will also soon come. I think e-learning is here to stay because it all happened during the time when learning had stopped
Mm.
during pandemic. And
Mm.
because in
Mm.
again quest and thirst to learn, people people started going on internet and to find things. But for me, who is now 33, if you tell me that there's a course online, I cannot give time to that. ऑफिस के इतने ट्रेनिंग कोर्सेज होते हैं यार कि e-learning करके क्या करेंगे. Also, I've spent a lot of money on companies like Udemy and all to just upskill and to do a course, but I've paid, but never I've been able to do it. I think for me, it is just that comparison of ebook versus original
Yeah.
book, hardbound.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
so I think for me, classroom will be the first place of learning. E-learning is just a supplementary,
Mm.
because when there are five
Yeah.
tabs open in front of you, I cannot concentrate. I think before
Absolutely. I
e-learning,
mean, I think.
before e-learning, somebody should create a browser only, which is only one tab. You cannot do multitasking at all on your computer. The screen freezes when you open that e-learning software, so that no, your laptop is
Wow.
become dabba only. There is one screen which is notes. You type down notes. One screen is your teacher teaching you, and that's it. And as soon as you exit, you have to ask your father to exit. Put in the password, and then it exits. I, I
That's
think
an amazing idea.
then
That's
only
a
you can
great
open.
idea, actually.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
definitely take this to the tech team.
correct. You can, you should. I mean, 6 साल का बच्चे के पास distractions इतनी होंगी. Your
Yeah.
father will log in for you, and
Yeah.
everything freezes on this computer,
Yeah.
and he has to shut it down for you. छुट्टी जैसे स्कूल का बेल बजती थी ना, घंटी बजती थी. You have to
Yeah.
give that experience to the child. कि period खत्म, टंग. And so that the father also in the other room get a notification on the phone. चलो इसका period खत्म
Yeah.
हुआ, जाके मैं बंद करके आता हूँ.
That's correct. That's true. I mean, that's a very good idea. So, I love that. I loved your idea. Now, before I end this, I just want to know, you are a new parent, absolutely fine, but you would have definitely seen the way parenting is being done around you and everything. What would be the few tips that you would give?
There are no tips at all. Follow
Mm-hmm.
your instinct. Look for something new. Do not learn from others. Make your own mistakes. You are a parent now. You have been blessed with that instinct immediately. So go by gut. You were raised
Mm.
differently. You will raise somebody differently. Uh, it's a child. Do not
Yeah.
give in. Do not give in. They cannot
Yeah.
be they cannot be your boss. Always remember that.
Mm.
Okay, you are the one
Yeah.
who have to tame. So
Yeah.
don't let a child ride you, rather you ride the child.
Mm.
But that doesn't mean that you but that doesn't mean that you become a bad parent. That
Mm.
that means that you're a parent who knows that they are in charge. Just be a parent
Yeah.
who's in
Yeah.
charge.
Yeah. Wow, I love that. I love that. Vaibhav, thank you so much for taking your time out and talking to us. You dropped some really good ideas, and the tech idea, I'm sure the tech team is definitely going to love it.
Great.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Sure. Thank you very much, and all the best. I hope when my son becomes, I mean, he reaches that age of 6, you become a unicorn,
Yeah.
and you transfer a 2-year course to him as a thank you gift.
Absolutely, Vaibhav, definitely. So, all the best to you. And we
Thank
love
you,
your podcast. Keep doing, please, what you're doing. And I'll hopefully talk to you very soon.
thank you very much.